What's up, AwareWolves? Back again with another video. Beautiful day out. Hope you're having a good one. I know I am. I got a couple of more of these Olympic themed videos and then we'll be done with it for another 4 years, and since I'm actually another 18 months because the Winter Olympics inspire me as well. Today's topic is a little bit of a combination of things. But the theme of it is that bigger isn't always better. Bigger is not always better. I know that's ironic and easy to say coming from a guy that's 6'6" with a really big beard, but I assure you that there are plenty of things that make my size just really not ideal. A couple of examples involved with the Olympics is, if you go and you look at the different medalists for maybe swimming or track and field, or any of them, judo, just anything. There's a couple of them that are exceptions, but for the most part, all the athletes are in pretty slender shape, pretty low body fat. That includes not super big bulging muscles. Maybe the power lifters and the wrestlers have those super bulging muscles. Maybe the rugby guys, but for the most part, people are pretty lean. They really, with shirts on instead of the racing bibs, they really probably aren't even that impressive. It isn't until they take their shirts off that you can tell, wow, that's a pretty good fit body. And that's really because there are very few examples or reasons why bigger is better, and they are pretty few and far between. Another example from the Olympics is a study was done. Now, silver medal's great. Gold medal's obviously ideal. Bronze medal would seem to be maybe third in line as ideal. But it's actually been proven through a study that bronze is actually a better medal to get than silver. They polled bronze medalists and silver medalists and found that bronze medalists tend to be happier and more content with their medal. A lot of people think that that's because bronze medalists are just happy that they weren't fourth, where silver medalists might be distraught that they weren't first. Maybe bronze medalists are looking at the bright side and silver medalists may be choosing not to. So keep that in mind. Bigger isn't always better. A bigger dog or a bigger pet is going to mean more food, which means more waste, and maybe that's what you want, but which is fine. Big dogs are for people who like big dogs, and little dogs are for people who like little dogs, and no dogs are for people who like no dogs. But a bigger dog might be able to get on the counter, might take up more of your couch, might take up more of your bed. So you got to keep these things in mind. Big dogs are great though. I've had both. Big dogs are great too, but there are some disadvantages maybe. Big vehicles, they take more gas. That's a big disadvantage. Maybe there's advantages that outweigh that, but it's a kind of a big disadvantage. Bigger houses, higher electricity bills, bigger yards to mow, more maintenance, more cost. That's another thing. Bigger usually means more expense. Maybe it's not more expensive, but maybe there are more expenses involved. So keep that in mind. Bigger isn't always better. Bigger is actually rarely better. Another study was done of power lifters versus bodybuilders, and which one is stronger. Well, you could probably guess. Bodybuilders, why they may have bigger muscles, actually are weaker than power lifters in most cases. And the reason for that, scientifically, has been proven that size of muscle does not necessarily equate to strength of muscle. So that would explain a lot of times why the biggest athlete in the competition isn't necessarily the one that wins. A lot of times it has something to do with their mind. Maybe they're able to focus more, maybe they're just more passionate about winning. A lot of times that's probably it, but bigger isn't always better. Bigger government isn't better. Bigger government isn't better. Now, less government can be dangerous too. But bigger government isn't necessarily better. Bigger businesses isn't necessarily better. A higher stock price isn't necessarily better. Eating more isn't necessarily better than eating less. There are two ways to lift 1,000 pounds. You can use your brute strength and get it up, or you can build a machine to get it up for you. Bigger isn't always better, okay? I'm going to say it 1,000 times. Coming from me, it's ironic, but it's because I know the weaknesses that I have that may sometimes be directly equated to being bigger, okay? So take pride in the fact that even though you may not be physically the biggest, you can certainly be mentally the strongest. And you can even be physically the strongest. Allen Iverson could dunk a basketball. Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues, these guys were under 6 foot tall dunking basketballs. It makes you wonder, what's my excuse? Because bigger isn't always better, okay? Bigger bank accounts aren't always better. Your higher taxes and just people putting their hands out. I'm sure that's got to be annoying. And the reason it's annoying is because there's things that come with bigger bank accounts that don't happen to most people. And you wouldn't understand that unless you had a big bank account, which is why I understand this philosophy very intimately, because I am bigger, okay? So have confidence in what you have, because what you have might be better than the alternative, okay? Have confidence. If you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else believe in you? It starts with you. So bigger isn't always better. Build a machine to lift 1,000 pounds. Get your friend who's strong to lift it for you through communication skills, okay? Bigger size isn't always the best option. I will say it 1,000 times. If it takes you 10,000, then I'll get a sore throat saying it 10,000 times, okay? Have confidence in who you are. Have confidence in what you have. Have confidence that bigger doesn't mean better, okay? Better means better. And better doesn't necessarily mean better either, because better for you means better. Better for someone else is not something that you have any control over, so you're best to just accept what is, okay? Better for you is what's better for you. What you should consider better for you is not necessarily what is bigger. AwareWolves, Three Rivers Paddle Sports. I love you guys. Please, please, I love you guys. Bigger isn't always better.